Hello everyone and welcome to the very first European demo for the PlayStation 1. So this is like the fourth time trying to do this. Things have just been messing up. Multiple different things, don't really want to get into it. But anyway, so here we are. So this is the first European demo for the PlayStation 1. This, I believe, would come pre-packaged with the PlayStation 1 itself when it was first released. And this demo has a lot for us to take a look at, really. We've got games, we've got a virtual CD visualizer, some previews, and some tech demos, which are also very fun as well. This would start a long line of European demos to come later on throughout the PlayStation 1's life with the PlayStation magazine. And then what would happen is then the PlayStation 2 would come along, and then it would also go to the PlayStation 2 as well, with PlayStation 2 demos coming out here and there. And I've already covered a few demos from the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 on this channel, so go check these out. This is going to be a long line of videos we're going to be taking a look at, where we look at a demo and then we rate it, depending on, is it worth playing, is it worth having a look at? And for our very first one, for it being this European, well, this first disc here, it's definitely worth looking at. So let's get straight into it. Let's get into the games. We're going to start off with Wipeout. Now, like with any video on this channel, we will be comparing the games we're looking at on the demo disc and then comparing them to the final cut as well, to see what differences there are, if there are any, that is, what changes were made, if we do find any, how good the game is compared to the final cut. Wipeout is one of those games that is slightly different compared to the final cut. I've taken a look at this demo, compared it to the final cut, and I'll make a few lists of things on the screen to show you what the differences are, maybe a few screenshots, maybe a few video clips here and there, but it's not going to be heavily, what's the best way to say this, not heavily compared like some of my videos where I compare them massively. Give me 1 sec, I'm just going to sneeze. Oh, Jesus Christ, sorry. So yeah, Wipeout has always been a favourite of mine. Not particularly the first one, but the second one, I think Wipeout 2047, I think that's the one. Believe, anyway. But yeah, this is always been a fun game to go to, really. Things you'll notice that are different is the billboards, the textures on the track, and just a few things here and there. There's a few things that are different, but there's not really any major differences, like any big ones anyway, that you can see. But if you were to play both games or both builds side by side, this build and the final cut, you'll see some differences, definitely.
Shockwave.
The only thing I would say about this, just a bit sad about this demo, is it's only one lap. So you don't really get too much, but it is showcasing you what Wipeout is and how good of a game Wipeout can be. It's a lot of fun. I've never got used to how hard it is to control the ships in this game. Just based on the fact that there's like a delay when you turn and whatever, it's so difficult. But yeah, so that is Wipeout, PlayStation 1. A few differences here and there, but nothing major. Next up, we have Loaded. Now, Loaded is another fun game to play. Loaded was a game that was never really on my radar when I was younger, and I never really heard of it either. But playing this demo a fair few times and then researching it a fair bit, it's actually a lot of fun, and it's a game that I'm willing to kind of dig really deep into to see what differences there are. So we can get one character, which is Mama. And like I said, it's a very fun game. You need to go the right way first, so there we go. fucking turrets. They really hurt. There we go. Shit. That's a lot of enemies. Jesus. There we go. There we go. How much ammo do we have? Oh, we have a fair bit. Good. As you can see, the weapons get fucking crazy when you upgrade them. Like, absolutely insanely crazy. I mean, let's look at it. How did I not play this game when I was younger? Jesus. That's a lot of enemies. Holy balls. Now I'll try and not make this video too long, but games like this can be fucking well addictive. You know what's really good about this game as well is just how fluid the controls are for a game like this. They've really got the they really have. And it almost reminds me of Crash TV. That's what it reminds me of. Very much, like, it's such a good game. Oh no! Please don't tell me, am I gonna lose my shit? Oh yeah. Oh, that sucks. Jesus, you really need those upgrades. Any upgrades? Hello? I don't want to fight you. I don't think I can. There we go. Total NBA. If I remember correctly, Total NBA does not work for this emulation, sadly, so we will be skipping that, I'm afraid. Now, Destruction Derby is a bit of a weird one. So what I have to do is wait for the D1, the Demo 1 logo to appear, and then I have to reinsert the image. Now, Destruction Derby isn't one of my favourite. It's probably one of my lower tiered games on the Destruction Derby type of games for the PlayStation 1. My favourites is Destruction Derby Raw or Demolition Racer. Destruction Derby is a good game. It's just I prefer the other two, really. Destruction Derby Raw is such a good game. And Demolition Racer is fantastic. And I've seen plenty of Demolition Derby, you know, demos on demo discs. And, oh my god, Jesus, I'm absolutely being manhandled. And to be quite honest, every single time I've seen one, they've always been the same. I've never seen an earlier build. Now, there probably are some differences in terms of the data inside the game, such as, you know, things that weren't used and so on, if you were to data mine, but quite honestly, in comparing it to the Final Cut, yeah, there really isn't that many differences, if not any at all. You'd say about fucking not going in reverse, eh? There we go. 1 minute demo. What a load of bollocks. To be fair, 1 minute for that kind of game, yeah. I can see it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Battle Arena to Shinden doesn't work either, so sadly we don't have two that work, but Wipeout Loaded and Destruction Derby do work, and they are great demos, even if Destruction Derby is only 1 minute, but that's not too bad. Anyway, let's move on to the Visualizer CD. So obviously we've got some... Yeah, it requires an audio CD to convert music into some visual effects. We'll take a look at it anyway, because it's worth taking a look at. And there you go. There's your visualizer for if you wanted to take a look at what a visualizer would do to your music. If I had some like 90s like rave or house music, I'd probably insert it, but I don't have any CDs sadly. All I have is rap, I think, and some wrestling music. I'm pretty sure it'd do a lot of funky stuff. Lots of fun though, lots and lots of fun. The previews. Now we have a fair few previews to look at. The first one we're taking a look at is Tekken.
Round one, fight.
Now Tekken is a very hard game to kind of... I've always found it quite difficult, especially with any of the Tekken games on PlayStation 1, to find any differences in terms of earlier builds compared to the Final Cut. But there's one thing that I will always say about Tekken games that I absolutely adore and love, is the music. They've not changed the music at all. Well, some people say that the music in the later Tekken games, like on the PlayStation 3 and whatever, it's not great, but I still think a lot of it is fantastic. And that's Tekken for you. Warhawk. Warhawk is a game that we will be taking a look at in the near future. I think it's on demo disc number 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a lot of fun to play. And it's probably one of my favourite demos that I have played on the PlayStation 1. Now, one thing I will say is when I was playing the demo on that demo disc, I didn't notice a third-person view, so I don't know if that's something I missed out on, or it was something that, you know, just forgot to take a look at. Anyway, Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal is also a game we will be taking a look at on, I think, number 4 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. Lots and lots of fun. Good old Twisted Metal. Rapid Reload. Kind of like a Metal Slug kind of game. One thing I love seeing about previews especially, is seeing how well the person who recorded this for the demo disc performs in the game. Because sometimes they can do really well, because they've played it a fair bit, or they've just been given a game and go, hey, we need some footage for this, for the demo disc, here you go. And sometimes it's like that, and I feel like Loaded is kind of like that. Not Loaded, but Rapid Reload is like that. Ridge Racer, one of my favourite racing games of all time. Very simplistic, but a lot of fun. One thing that I thought was a bit strange about this preview was that the voiceover for the narrator or the commentator and just the voice lines in general are higher pitched, and that goes alongside with the music as well. So I don't know what that's all about, because I definitely know it's lower pitched. So it just could be the fact it was converted weirdly when being recorded, or the recording just went a bit funky, but I'm not quite sure. What I do know is this ain't a bad showcasing of the racing on Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer can be quite a difficult game to play because you have to use those drifting mechanics, which some people just don't know how to use, and some people try to avoid it, but I used to speedrun Ridge Racer, and you can actually use the drifting to your favour. You can actually increase your speed, which is funny. Jumping Flash. Jumping Flash will be a game we will be taking a look at on the next demo, and there will be an actual playable demo of that. To be fair, it's actually a pretty fun game. At first I was a bit adamant on playing it, but no, I like this game. Like, at first I was there like, oh, I don't know about this game, you know, it doesn't seem like my thing, and then I started playing it, I was there like, okay, yeah, this game's actually really good. Okay, and then we have Starblade Alpha, which is a on-the-rails shooter, as you pretend to be in a spaceship.
Geosword, come in, Geosword. This is Team Leader. Take the right one, Geosword. I'll take the left one. Over.
One thing I will say about this preview is that the voice lines seem to be no confidence in their voice. It's always something I found funny about early trailers and you know, previews of games and stuff, is that the voiceovers and the lines for the games are always very monotone, so to say. Anyway, so here we have two of the tech demos, which would showcase what the PlayStation 1 is powerful, how powerful the PlayStation 1 is, and what it's capable of doing. First up is the T-Rex tech demo, which is well known now, and well known for being a huge feat in... I mean, just look at it. I mean, you can't tell me that this is not impressive for the time. Yeah, grit those fucking teeth. Yeah, grit those teeth. Yeah. It's fucking incredible. Just look at it. Amazing stuff. Now, I don't know if this tech demo or this T-Rex in general was used for anything in particular. I don't know if it was just used for this tech demo alone. But this game is just... it's fucking incredible. Not this game, but this tech demo is just incredible. The texturing, the detail on the model, the polys, really well used, and used like in a very smart way. Like everything about it, like the teeth is really well detailed, like the teeth are even polyed themselves, I think. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more. Or at least I think they're polyed anyway. As someone who does 3D modeling myself, texturing, amazing stuff, like absolutely incredible stuff. There's something about that tech demo that just shocks me, for it being what, 1994, 1995? Yeah, 1994. Insane. Then we have the manta ray, which is even like probably on the same level as of being incredible. Now they really tried to push this tech demo just on the basis that they tried to fit in as many fish as they could. You can get rid of the fish, and then when you bring the fish in, the the frame rate slows down. But yet again, we've got another great tech demo showing what this game, or what this system is capable of doing. Creepy music, mind you. I will say that. I'm also considering uploading tracks like this. You can find that probably haven't been uploaded onto YouTube. Thinking about doing that. But yeah, so there you go. The Manta Ray tech demo for demo disc number 1. So that is the European demo disc released alongside the PlayStation for its release. If you didn't have any games at this time when receiving your PlayStation, maybe you got it as a gift or you just bought it and I don't know, the game didn't come, the PlayStation didn't come with a deal with a game or whatever, like a release type. You just had the European demo disc. I'd say you'd probably have a lot of fun with this, just on the basis that you have a fair few games to play, even though we couldn't play 2 because they weren't loading onto my emulator. You still had a fair few games to play, you had a fair few, you know, previous look at, you could mess around with your music CDs and the visualizer, and you know, you could look at the tech demos and play around with that. And to be fair, you'd probably get like a couple of hours worth of your time. Or maybe, who knows, maybe a few days before maybe you got your first game or whatever. But if I remember correctly, I wasn't even born back then, but if I know how things worked back then from research, I can imagine there were probably, you know, shops out there or, you know, retailers that were giving you the PlayStation and a game alongside it with a deal. I can imagine there was. And to be quite honest, like, yeah. Like, but if you just had this CD with your PlayStation, you'd get a fair few hours out of it. Like, massively. And that's something that I think is incredible. And what would I rate this on the ranking system that I'm going to be doing for these demo discs? I would say I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10, actually. I think this is the golden standard for a demo disc. You know, it gives you everything. You know, it gives you tech, gives you previews, gives you games. You know, this is something that all demo discs should give you. But this is where things take a turn for the worse, because in the next couple of demo discs we're going to be taking a look at, things take a bit of a slippery slope downwards. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys take a look at my other videos on this channel. Thank you for sticking by if you have been for this long on this video, and comment, like, subscribe, that would help a lot as well, and I will speak to you guys in the next video. See you later.